They weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. The lights are on me all the time.
And there's no excuses.
Her suit claims she feared retaliation if she refused to work during her leave and was on a work conference call while in the labor and delivery room and traveled to Brazil for a shoot with soccer star Neymar a few weeks after giving birth.
MrBeast has created one of the biggest and most recognizable brands in YouTube history. His huge challenges, massive giveaways, and viral charity videos helped build an image that millions of people admire. But behind all the excitement, a very different story has slowly started to come out, shared by people who say they worked inside the company every single day. Several former employees have spoken publicly about what they describe as their experiences working for Jimmy. More recently, the situation has grown even more serious, with MrBeast facing a lawsuit from a former employee that includes allegations of sexual harassment. The claims are allegations that have not been proven in court, but they have drawn enough attention that major news outlets have also begun reporting on the case.
There's no hard feelings anywhere, and the fact that I was able to be a part of one of the best YouTube channels in the world, you know, and learn from one of the best and be a part of the best, you know, and kind of put that on my resume and kind of check it off is amazing. Now it's time. I want to move on. I want to start my own brand. I want to start my own thing. I want to do my own thing, you know, and I really want to just push and, you know, kind of be my own person, my own thing, my own brand. You know, I really want to do all that. I have parted ways with MrBeast and the MrBeast channel. It's now time for Jake the Viking takeover.
This is the bigger story of what many people believe has been building behind the scenes for years. The timeline stretches back much further than most viewers realize, and some of the earliest moments now get looked at in a very different way.
All right, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You saw the title, you know what it's about. Here we go. We're just gonna dive straight into it. So as you may have noticed, you probably, if you're a MrBeast fan, you probably have noticed I have not been in the videos as of late. My piece no longer fit the puzzle, if that's the best way to put it. I had shown up, you know, I had done everything I was asked to do. I did it to the best of my ability. I helped the channel grow. When I joined, it was at 4 million. And when I left, I think we had just passed 30 million. But it was a mutual leaving. I had already I'd already told him multiple times, you know, what I wanted to do was kind of be my own boss, do my own thing. You know, I like streaming. I like being able to get in front of the camera and entertain people through playing video games or whatever it is. I wanted to be able to make my own videos. You know, I wanted the opportunity to travel and to go places. You know, me and MrBeast, or me and Jimmy did not have any type of falling out. There was no argument. There was no bashing. There was none of that. It was very mutual because it was something I was already contemplating, you know, not if, but when this was gonna happen, and it kind of got sped up.
Back in the early days of the channel, one of the most familiar and well-liked faces alongside Jimmy was Jake the Viking. He appeared in video after video and seemed to have a genuine connection with the audience, making him an important part of the channel's rise. Because of that, his departure in early 2020 caught a lot of fans by surprise and quickly became a major talking point. The video Jake shared explaining why he left eventually reached more than 18 million views, showing just how connected viewers felt to him and the MrBeast team. At the time, his explanation sounded simple, calm, and completely ordinary, with no obvious signs that anything bigger was going on. Jake made a point of saying there was no bad blood between him and MrBeast.
MrBeast's nice off camera. I assume you guys just always wondered, so thought I would ask. P Green, I'll be real with you. I ain't answering that on stream.
He explained that they had separated on good terms and described his overall experience working alongside Jimmy as a positive one, making it clear he wasn't leaving because of personal conflict. He presented their relationship as respectful and professional, saying it was simply a case of two people choosing different paths. At the time, that explanation seemed clear, believable, and gave viewers little reason to think there was anything more behind the decision. That made what happened next feel like a major change in the story. Not long after posting that original video, Jake made comments during a live stream that gave many viewers a very different impression. Some of what he said appeared to conflict with the positive message from his exit video, and he suggested that, in his view, MrBeast was different behind the scenes than he seemed on camera.
All I've seen is people praise MrBeast, whether that be just people around me, people online. Everyone's like, this is the best guy on the planet. And while he is definitely a good guy, I'm not going to take anything away from his charitable efforts that he's done. It does get annoying when the person that everyone knows as a saint, you know, as someone who is the complete opposite. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, just like actors, MrBeast and Jimmy Donaldson are two different people. This is basically just a compilation of all the videos MrBeast made thus far on his channel of him giving away money, adding up to him hitting $500,000. Like, I want you to get every time I've ever given away money, add it up in the corner, and it should equal $500,000. I was like, this isn't gonna work because you clickbait. He'd be like, no, I swear, I did the math. I was like, all right, man, for sure. 8 hours passes by, I finish editing the video, and instead of the $500,000 he wants it to hit, it's maybe $410,000, and I'm like, Jimmy, clickbait is a thing you need to take into consideration. It came to a point where he's like, you know what, just start over, man. Deletes the project file, is like, start from scratch. Even if you delete the project file and make me restart and make me recut up all these clips, I can't make this equal $500,000. I am going insane. I don't know how you want me to do this. By day like 5, when he comes in and does basically the same thing and just scraps my whole video and asks me to do it again, I'm like, dude, let me take a walk, man. I specifically walked to a good friend who worked there at the Times office about 30 seconds away. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do right now. I can't edit this video for like another day. He wants me to come in on the weekend and do the same thing. I'm literally gonna go crazy. And that's when Jimmy hears me talking about how aggravated I'm getting with the situation and apparently like talking shit behind his back, which I really wasn't. I just wanted like help. Comes in the room and he goes, you absolute fucking get back in that fucking room, or I swear to God, Turner.
The difference between those two accounts quickly caught people's attention. Viewers started asking which version reflected Jake's real feelings. Some wondered if he had kept his concerns private when he first left, while others questioned whether his perspective had changed over time because of later experiences. Whatever the reason, the contrast sparked plenty of discussion online.
MrBeast paid for my rent every month when I lived in North Carolina, and he said, all right, you can live here as long as you want. You can literally stay in this like pretty expensive apartment just until you feel comfortable leaving. Don't feel like you're in a rush. Stay as long as you want. Stay for months if you want to. It doesn't matter to us. They're still paying me right now. I'm still technically working. I'm not going to give like any numbers or anything. They said we're still going to pay you for a while, and that is basically funding my trip to backpack across Asia. He's saying you don't have to work for me, but I'll still pay you, and because of that, I hope that lets you live in LA, go to college, backpack Asia. Whatever you want to do after this, I want to set you up for that. And the job is still an amazing job. If you have the opportunity to get this job that I had, totally take it. It's a lot of fun. It was basically just like a friendship, and going to work was a blast each and every.
Fans and critics alike began debating what it all meant, and the conversation spread quickly across social media. Some people have argued that at least a few of the later comments from former employees may have been influenced by the attention the topic was receiving. That's an opinion shared by some viewers, while others strongly disagree, making it a point of ongoing debate. Looking back, some critics believe they noticed a pattern. A former team member would leave on what appeared to be good terms, post a video that attracted millions of views because of the MrBeast connection, and later share more critical opinions after the initial attention faded and public interest shifted toward behind-the-scenes stories and controversy. Some people believe that patterns showed up often enough across different former team members that it's worth mentioning. At the same time, noticing a possible pattern doesn't automatically mean every statement made by every former employee should be dismissed. Each person's account deserves to be considered on its own, and some of the claims went far beyond brief comments made during live streams. One former employee, known as Sore Turner, uploaded a video titled "Why I Quit Working for MrBeast," although it has since been removed from his channel. In that video, he spoke very positively about his time with the team.
One video I was in, I got paid a lot for, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. It was the like surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever. It got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. People don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well. They weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. The lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep. And I have insomnia problems now. They might have started there. I had a lot of good people looking out for me saying, this, we gotta stop. I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is, and you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. People who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Ryder, do I look like I run? I don't run, let alone a marathon.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
There was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know? I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m.
When I got off the treadmill.
Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red, I couldn't walk, my muscles were like, just the lactic acid, I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done, I'm done, I'm out.
He described the workplace as feeling more like a close group of friends than a typical job, saying it was a place where he genuinely enjoyed showing up and felt respected, appreciated, and welcomed each day. Then, things took another unexpected turn. Turner later posted a public tweet that appeared to sharply conflict with the positive experience he had described before, catching many people off guard. In the post, Turner claimed that working for MrBeast had been the most mentally exhausting period of his life. He alleged that he was yelled at regularly, called mentally retarded and replaceable by MrBeast, and said the treatment left him in tears and experiencing serious emotional distress. He also claimed that even small editing mistakes made him feel humiliated because of how they were handled. Turner went on to make several other allegations. He claimed editors were told that if they left the team, they would not receive future credit for their work, which he viewed as something that could hurt their careers. He also alleged that ideas were used without proper acknowledgement, that some people were encouraged to join the team under misleading expectations, and that when he raised concerns about his treatment, a manager he described as impossible to please dismissed those concerns by saying he had simply misunderstood what had been said. These are allegations that have been publicly reported but have not been established as fact in court or through official findings. Turner finished by making even more detailed allegations. He claimed that staff members were required to sign new NDAs and were then told by management that these were their glory days and that they should be grateful for the opportunity. Rather than expressing general frustration, his posts described what he alleged were specific conversations, workplace practices, and management decisions that, in his view, encouraged employees to stay loyal and discouraged them from speaking out. MrBeast denied the allegations and continued producing content as usual. Turner later uploaded a second video about the situation, although it has also since been deleted. According to Turner, he decided to speak out further because he believed MrBeast had not addressed the concerns or taken accountability for the issues he had raised.
There are tons of screenshots to showcase exactly what was being said to someone who was between 13 and 14 years old at the time, and it's fucking gross. It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So, Ava Tyson was an adult at this point, Lava was a child. And saying things like, I posted some fire for you, please no share, and then other shit like, but not $5, pathetic JK kissy face. They seem to communicate a lot, even sending Snapchats. So here's one that says, coming for America, and then goes on to talk about being in a group chat and everything. And I've seen a lot of people try and cope and deflect saying like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever. Edgy jokes between an adult and a child are still fucking gross. That's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is.
Those statements reflect Turner's publicly shared claims and remain disputed. A pattern like this can be easy to dismiss at first. Someone speaks positively in public, stays quiet for a while, and later comes forward with more serious allegations. Some people believe that in certain cases this could be driven by attention or other personal motives. Others argue that each situation deserves to be examined on its own before reaching conclusions. At the same time, supporters of the allegations point out that several former employees have described experiences they believe share similar themes, even though there is no public evidence that they coordinated their accounts. Whether those similarities are meaningful remains a matter of debate, but they have fueled ongoing discussion online. One of the most well-known critics was a creator named Dogpack404, who released a multi-part documentary-style series presenting broad and serious allegations about MrBeast and his company. The series covered a wide range of accusations, including claims that some challenges were staged, that the workplace had a toxic culture, and concerns about how younger participants were treated. Many of these were serious allegations, not established facts. For a time, the videos gained major attention online because they were professionally produced, presented in a detailed way, and convincing enough that many viewers believed they deserved closer scrutiny. Later, controversy surrounded the planned third installment. Reports and public discussion indicated that some information connected to that release had been deliberately fabricated. As a result, Dogpack404's credibility took a major hit, and many people began re-examining the earlier videos with far more skepticism. When a creator is shown to have included false information, it naturally raises questions about the reliability of their other claims, even if that does not automatically determine whether every previous allegation was true or false. A large part of the audience that had been following the controversy appeared to change its view almost overnight, and support for Dogpack's allegations dropped sharply. As questions about his credibility grew, his influence in the conversation faded. Even so, one part of his earlier content continued to stand out for many viewers. Among the interviews he released was a conversation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. Unlike broader claims about the company, Weddle focused on describing his own personal experiences while working for the channel. His account included detailed and serious allegations that many people considered the most specific and unsettling claims to emerge publicly at that point, although they remain allegations that have been disputed. Whether every part of Jake Weddle's account is accurate cannot be independently confirmed from the outside. Much of what is publicly available comes from his own description of events, and it's important to recognize that high-profile online controversies can create incentives for people to overstate, misremember, or dispute events. That uncertainty is part of the story and should be kept in mind. Even with that limitation, many viewers felt Weddle's account stood out because of the level of detail, the consistency of his story, and the emotion he showed while sharing it. Those factors led some people to take his allegations seriously, while others remained skeptical because the claims have not been independently verified. Even so, the attention surrounding Weddle's interview was soon overshadowed by an entirely different controversy involving Ava Tyson. If you followed MrBeast's videos for years, then you almost certainly recognize the name Ava Tyson, previously known as Chris Tyson. She was one of the channel's most familiar and well-liked personalities from its early days, appearing in countless videos and becoming a major part of what viewers associated with the brand. MrBeast even publicly described her as the very first subscriber to his channel. Ava wasn't just an occasional guest, she was a central member of the on-screen team and helped shape the channel's identity for millions of viewers. Then, in July 2024, serious allegations surfaced claiming that Ava had engaged in inappropriate online conversations with a minor over a period of years while still associated with the channel. As the controversy grew, screenshots, messages, and other material circulated publicly, leading to widespread scrutiny and debate. The allegations received extensive attention across social media and major news outlets. Ava later stepped away from the MrBeast team, and the situation quickly became one of the biggest controversies connected to the channel. Public reaction was swift, with many people concluding that the allegations were extremely serious and deserved close examination. Separate allegations also surfaced regarding Ava's reported interactions with content created by an online artist known as Shadman. Public reports and online discussions claimed that Ava had purchased, financially supported, or consumed that artist's work. Shadman has been widely criticized for creating explicit artwork depicting minors, making those allegations especially serious and controversial. The public statement Ava later released drew attention not only because of what it included, but also because of what some people felt it left unsaid. Different readers interpreted the response in different ways, and it quickly became another major point of discussion. In the statement, Ava apologized to anyone who had been hurt or offended by her actions, but did not explicitly admit to wrongdoing regarding the allegations. She firmly denied ever grooming anyone and pointed to the fact that one individual frequently mentioned in the accusations had publicly said that the grooming claims were false. Ava also argued that some of the more serious accusations were created by combining separate issues into a single narrative that she believed misrepresented what had actually happened. Those statements reflected Ava's public response to the allegations. Ava described her past online behavior as inappropriate and immature, edgy jokes, rather than actions driven by harmful intent. She also said she was concerned about the many MrBeast employees who had no connection to the controversy and announced that she was stepping away to focus on her family and mental health. Even so, the statement received a largely negative response across social media and other online platforms. Many critics argued that the response did not fully address the seriousness of the allegations. They felt that acknowledging people had been hurt, without explicitly accepting responsibility for specific alleged actions, came across as incomplete or evasive. Others viewed the statement differently, but the overall public reaction remained highly critical.
Shadman was an artist who drew child. One of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a graphic setting. Ava Tyson has publicly tweeted about Lolly, and in particular, there are tweets of Ava Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked, but there are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman, or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman. There's a clip from a MrBeast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall, belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons, but this is something that is irrefutable. The only question about Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson.
MrBeast later said that he had personally decided to remove Ava from the team and stated that he did not condone the behavior described in the allegations. From a public relations perspective, some commentators viewed that response as a practical way to distance the company from the controversy. They argued it separated MrBeast from the allegations, avoided making detailed public claims that could lead to further disputes, and placed responsibility on Ava rather than on the broader organization. Those assessments reflect commentary about the response rather than established fact. MrBeast later posted that he had initiated what he described as an independent legal investigation into the matter. According to his statement, the purpose was to determine the facts and show that he had no knowledge of the alleged behavior during the time in question. Whether that explanation is convincing has remained a topic of public debate, with people reaching very different conclusions. One reason the discussion became so intense is that Ava Tyson was not viewed as a distant member of the team. She had been one of MrBeast's longest-serving collaborators and was someone Jimmy himself had publicly described as being with him from the very beginning. Because of that close working relationship, some critics questioned whether it was plausible that he would have been completely unaware of the alleged conduct, while others argued there is no public evidence showing he knew about it. That question remains disputed, and people continue to disagree over what can reasonably be concluded from the available information. Without clear, direct evidence showing otherwise, those questions remain matters of opinion rather than proven fact.
MrBeast's companies are facing a legal challenge of their own, just as Jimmy Donaldson himself took the stage at the Time 100 Summit as one of the world's most influential people. Former employee Lorraine Mavromatis filing a federal lawsuit in North Carolina, claiming she faced discrimination, retaliation, was required to work while on maternity leave, and was terminated within a few weeks of returning to the job, told she was too high caliber for the position. NBC News spoke with Mavromatis today in a broadcast exclusive.
I do not want to be silenced anymore. I really want to use my voice.
In the complaint, she alleges that she rose quickly inside the company after starting in 2022, but after recent concerns about sexual harassment, was demoted and transferred into what the lawsuit calls a division where, quote, careers go to die. MrBeast spokeswoman responding to NBC News, saying Mavromatis's position was eliminated as part of a restructuring, adding in a statement, quote, "This clout-chasing complaint is built on deliberate misrepresentations and categorically false statements, and we have the receipts to prove it. There is extensive evidence, including Slack and WhatsApp messages, company documents, and witness testimony that unequivocally refutes her claims. We will not submit to opportunistic lawyers looking to manufacture a payday from us."
People can reasonably disagree about what should or should not be inferred from the publicly available information. Soon after, however, the controversy shifted into a much more serious legal phase when a former employee filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against MrBeast. Unlike many earlier claims that spread through social media posts, deleted YouTube videos, or documentary-style content created by public figures, this case followed a different path from the very beginning. Instead of starting with a public campaign, the matter first entered the legal system through a formal court filing, giving the situation a different context than previous online allegations. According to the public timeline, the former employee filed the lawsuit before making any public statements about the case. There were no viral posts, no YouTube videos, and no media interviews leading up to the filing. For many observers, that sequence was significant because it differed from the pattern often seen in online creator controversies. Some commentators argued that beginning with a legal filing rather than a public campaign made it more difficult to claim the primary motivation was simply attracting attention, though the allegations remain unproven and are subject to the legal process. MrBeast's team responded by suggesting that the lawsuit was motivated, at least in part, by a desire for attention. Some observers criticized that response, arguing it did not align with the fact that the legal filing came before any public campaign or media appearances.
The lawsuit also alleges Mavromatis was contacted to work while on maternity leave, and that the company never gave her required notice of her rights under the Family and Medical Leave Act.
Jimmy Donaldson himself, he says that you've got to get the job done, and there's no excuses.
Her suit claims she feared retaliation if she refused to work during her leave and was on a work conference call while in the labor and delivery room and traveled to Brazil for a shoot with soccer star Neymar a few weeks after giving birth.
But if Neymar wins, I will donate it to whatever charity he chooses.
No mother would want to leave their newborn baby behind to go to work, especially out of the country when you're breastfeeding your baby. That's the last thing that I wanted to do.
Documents obtained by NBC News show Mavromatis' signature on an employee handbook dated 4 days before giving birth, which laid out the company's maternity leave policies, something Mavromatis says she doesn't remember.
So you never signed any sort of FMLA documents 4 days before you gave birth?
No, I do not recall signing, and I was never informed of my rights.
Others supported the team's position, and those competing interpretations remain part of the broader public debate. In general, pursuing a lawsuit is often a lengthy, expensive, and emotionally demanding process. People choose to file legal claims for many different reasons, and it is not possible to determine someone's motives based on the filing alone. In this case, the former employee sought accountability through the court system rather than first making public statements, and the allegations remain disputed as the legal process continues. What makes this moment stand out isn't just any single allegation, it's what all of these events have come to represent for MrBeast's brand at this point in his career. Over time, multiple controversies have drawn attention, creating a level of scrutiny the channel had rarely faced before. MrBeast has built one of the largest YouTube channels in history. His massive productions, charity-focused videos, and worldwide audience have helped create a reputation that has generally been far more positive than that of many creators with similar reach and influence. That public image has become one of the biggest parts of the brand itself. In recent years, however, that reputation has faced challenges from several different directions. Public allegations from former employees about workplace conditions, the controversy involving Ava Tyson, the Dogpack 404 series despite later credibility concerns, and now an active sexual harassment lawsuit have all added to the ongoing public discussion. These matters vary in their evidence, status, and outcome, but together they have placed the MrBeast brand under much closer examination than ever before. Any single allegation can be debated, challenged, or viewed in the context of its own circumstances. But as more controversies surfaced over different years, involving different people and different types of claims, many observers felt it became harder to dismiss every criticism as simply the work of opportunists seeking attention. At the same time, the existence of multiple allegations does not, by itself, prove that every claim is true. Each one still has to be evaluated on its own evidence. The bigger question many people are now asking is whether MrBeast's public image fully reflects what it's like behind the scenes. Is the version millions of viewers see an accurate picture of who he is as a person and leader, or is it a carefully managed brand built around one of the most successful content operations YouTube has ever seen? That's a question that continues to fuel debate across the internet. Former employees have shared accounts that, in some cases, differ sharply from the positive image associated with the channel. Those stories have led to ongoing discussion about what may have happened behind the cameras. However, the accuracy of those accounts remains disputed, and without definitive evidence resolving every claim, only the people directly involved, and where applicable, the legal process, can determine what truly occurred with certainty. What is clear is that the conversation hasn't gone away. New claims, new responses, and new developments have continued to keep the spotlight on MrBeast, while the debate over his public image and what may have happened behind the scenes remains far from settled. As more information emerges, people will continue to form their own opinions based on the available evidence. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps support the channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more deep dives into major internet stories and controversies. Let me know your thoughts on the MrBeast situation in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.